Hello interweb, this is Dannage. Welcome to City Skylines Festive Edition, playing through the town of Winterbell. Ooh. It's not Tuesday, is it? No, it's Saturday. Oh my god, it's so late. Stuff happened, real life. I went out, social life. Terrible news. This is how you start a city. So what we're doing here is we're starting a city and we're remembering that we didn't want to do it really like this, getting the water and the power, and what we didn't want to do is start a grid city, because this map specifically designed not to encourage a large grid city. However, what we're doing is we are playing with money, and we don't have the unlimited money, and we actually need to make enough money to get started and carry on building. And so yeah, grid city is how we're going to start, and then once we've got the money coming in, then we can worry about actually doing it a little bit properly. So what we're doing here, a little bit different. This was actually my third go trying to set this initial video up, or this initial first hour's worth of play. I will be explaining later why it took 3 goes. But one of the things that I realized was that having just one road off of here, off of the freeway, and then having all the traffic needing to get onto that one road, why I've got the little two hole gap in the middle there is because that caused a lot of traffic problems, and so I've now just got the road separated out. The other thing I've noticed about, and I don't know if it's because of Snowfall, I don't know if it's because of this map, or I don't know if it's because the recent DLC is Industries, but the industry demand in this map was fantastically high. Surprisingly high compared to what I normally get. Maybe it's because everybody needs a job in winter. The fires of industry keep us nice and warm, sir. Okay, so what we then realise is that we have two-way road here, and we need to make that one way so that we've got 2 lanes coming off the motorway instead of 1. And then we're going to need to take the power from the other windmill and share some of that around, because actually we need to reuse everything because we can't afford to build new stuff. The other thing that you may notice is that I'm doing little bits of residential, just a 4 block at a time, instead of just zoning the entire area, and there's a reason for that. Woo, little hamlet! The reason for that is that that will avoid death waves. So death waves, common problem, a lot of people experience in this game, and they say, oh, why is that? What they're doing is they're creating a map, and then they are doing all of the road network, and then what they will do is just highlight a really massive area of space, and they will put loads and loads of residential areas in there, and then all the people will move in at the same time. And all the people in this game that move in at the same time live roughly the same amount of time, and then they all die at the same time. When they all die at the same time, then what happens is that you don't have enough traffic flow to allow all the hearses to get through, and then you just get lots of little signs saying dead persons waiting for transport. There you go. Tip. Educational as well as fun. So whilst we're just moving around those windmills and running out of cash, the reason that we fell over and had to do this 3 times before we went, the first time I decided to make it run quicker by switching off all of my assets, and there are 1,000 of them. Oh look, I'm using tax. I've never used the tax screen, but money is tight, and so I've switched off all of the assets because I didn't need all the trees and all the bushes and all the different cars, and it turns out that I also switched off or removed all of the buildings that I was expecting to use. So that was terrifying. So that was take 1. That lasted about 15 minutes before I realised actually I can't live without them. And then what I've just done, the opposite of what I've just done there, is that I can't live with the school and the medical clinic because I can't afford it. And all those houses are bulldozed and running out of power or whatever, because I have to wait, because I ran out of loan time as well, and I'm just sitting there waiting for my cash to come back in. It's very important when you remember, see that bottom left hand corner, you've got the 3 arrows, and it's very important to just speed the game up once you've got a little bit of money coming in when you are playing with the money. But when you do have the money coming in, when you start the thing off, set that to paused or really slow, and then move up when you've got a little bit of cash coming in. You then just speed everything the hell up so that you can get stuff coming in. But you're going to need people. You're going to need people that pay the taxes, that come in and do the money earning, and they also need to do some shopping so that you get worthy village, so that they spend the money, and that all goes to you. And then you can build like facilities like firehouses. That'll be important later. You will also notice there, I've just deleted some houses and then I've just reset some of the build areas. That is a reason or another reason that I like to put 4x4 grids down at a time, is because if you lay, I think we'll show it in an industry one in a minute, if you just lay a larger space, move the trees out of the way, then sometimes it just decides, yeah, maybe I'll build in one space, the space that you've added, or maybe I'll look, you did two 4x4s there and I've just laid a 4x4. So if you want to control the size of your houses and you're not using something like ploppable, you need to lay bits at a time based on the size that you want to do. Now I'm really confused here because my industry demand is really high. And normally, when I play one of these maps, or when I play a map, normally I've got loads of residential demand and then the very occasional bit of industry. But as I say, really confused as to why it was so much industry here. But the industry's not technically going to make me all the money, so I need to get. I'm trying to also get a population up so that I can build the heater that's going to heat the underground pipes, because this is Snowfall and all those little glowing houses are saying we're too cold, we need underwater heating. And the way that you get that is by building an underwater heater thing, which I wait ages for because it takes loads of money to buy, or you need 4,000 people, because I'm not playing with everything unlocked either. So there'll be a lot of industry. I don't like industry because it pollutes, so I prefer offices normally, but I need to get that because look at that demand bar, loads of industry. So that was anyway, back to the story. So we were talking about go number 1, and I've just mentioned ploppable stuff. Go number 2, I used a mod called Plop the Growables. Now, if you're not familiar with Rico or ploppable mods, essentially it means rather than doing what you're doing here and just laying some green space or some blue space, tip if you don't want to do 4x4s, by the way, or want to speed them up a little bit, drag them across a road and then you get 2 sets of 4x4 in one go, in one drag, as it were. So go number 2. And this lasted a lot longer. I had this mod called Plop the Growables by the Bloody Penguin, which, if you do not know, City Skylines celebrity type people, tiny town, yay. Bloody Penguin is basically the programmer that doesn't work for Colossal Order, but basically makes all of the mods. Not all of them, but all of the ones that everybody uses, he uses. So royalty, as far as we're concerned, in the pleb community. That's me. Anyway, I'm totally going off topic because we're just doing the same thing. So that basically means that you can select a building and you can place that building down, as opposed to running out of power, as opposed to just sticking the green and the blue and the yellow and waiting for something to build. What I didn't realise, I did realise that it had another mod that you needed with it. I'm going to change this industry area now to a forestry area because it's by a forest, and also that will reduce the amount of pollution. So look at those dead trees. This area will start chopping them down instead, but I'm sure they'll be much happier when they're doing it. Anyway, so I'm doing this map, and I'm doing basically the grid style, and it's fine, and I'm deciding. I know that there's a warning in that mod that says buildings will not level up. these buildings, if you click on a building, it will sort of say, oh, I can go up to 5 levels, but I've started at level 1. And then sometimes if you improve the services, you'll see the little up arrow, and the building will get better. And posher people will move in, and there's gentrification. And that's all cool, and that's great. The mod says it won't level up. It will stop your buildings from leveling themselves up. So you have another mod that you have to get that says force level up. What I didn't realize was that although it doesn't stop you from placing the sort of green areas and the blue areas as we do, what it does do is a little bit weird. When you do when you have the building, and it does level up if you are just laying like a green space. What it doesn't do when it levels up is get rid of the building that's already there. So what you end up with is 2 buildings occupying the same space. And that makes things go a little bit weird. It also goes a little bit weird because you start seeing all these abandoned signs. We're finally breaking away from the grid. Hooray! We want to move into a slightly more accurate looking, or slightly more realistic looking alpine town here. Let's just move, but we're going to just put some industry down there. Sometimes those roads, what I should have done there is I should have just bulldozed the road that was going left to right there and extended the node so that the other one could have gone straight. Anyway, the thing that you'll find is that the building grows on top of the building, and then the building says, I have a problem, and then you click the bulldozer and then you press demolish, and nothing happens. So let's take a commercial break and let's show you. I'll leave the sound as it was when I was just playing the recording, but because all I'm doing here is the same old stuff. It's interesting to watch what happens when you're trying to bulldoze. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of weird. And what I realized was that actually you can't actually do these things in parallel. You have either got to plop everything using that, or you have got to just take a break and go. And I decided that in order to make it sort of the most accessible for the newer players, or for people just getting into it, because there's a lot of stuff going on around on the internet and YouTube about the DLC, the industry's DLC, so there'll be a lot of people getting into the game because it's quite popular. But I thought, let's get vanilla. Let's keep Banana Boomtown for our viewers, of which there are at least 2, I'm sure. So we have now got the heating. We can do the heating, the underground heating, not underwater heating. It is water heating underground. And there we go. Lightning strikes as the power, or all the warning messages, go out on the entire little town. And that's great for us. What we will be doing here is now the running out of flat space, but at least we've got some money coming in. So we're doing what, 1,500 every. I don't know if that's a day or a month, but look, I still haven't realised that the arrow's gone back to normal speed while I'm moving some stuff. I will realise that a little bit quicker, hopefully next time, and get back to doing stuff. But it doesn't matter so much because I'm not running out of the money that quickly now, because I've finally got enough people to come in paying the taxes to do a little bit of people. So the bulldozing thing is a bit of an issue, but it's not the worst issue. The worst issue, if you can believe that there is something badder than 500 houses in one place, there is one thing badder. Let's take a look at that. And then I realised we couldn't play it like that. Switched the mod off and started again. We're going to finish on some cinematics just to show the progress from the first hour. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Come again and help tell me what to put in this city when we have the actual pretty stuff to build. Thanks. Bye bye.